everyone and welcome back. Ooh, I need lip gloss. Hold please. Okay, let's try this again. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and for today's video I am going to be doing my August TBR. So, I wanted to switch it up a little bit this month. I wasn't really sure. No, I was sure about what I wanted to read. I was caught in between so many different books that in order to pick, I was like, you know what? I'll randomize it a little bit. How can I make this into a fun, creative, unique game that hasn't already been done before but isn't too complicated? Because your girl is lazy, so I didn't need it to be hard. So, as you will see in a few moments, and as you can probably tell by the title, I used bookish mash in order to do that. And so basically what I did was, if you're unfamiliar with the game of mash, I have a whole video where I do bookish mash, but instead of having like what job I will have, how many kids I'll have, like who my spouse will be, where I'll live, I did different categories of books, not necessarily genres, but some of them were genres. So you'll see that in a minute. You make a spiral, it gives you a number, and then you use that number, you count through all of the different categories, and whenever you land on one, you cross it off until you have one in each category, I guess, and then that is your pick. And then you go through, when it's typical mash, you do mansion, apartment, shack, house, and I associated that with each of the 4 different categories, and whatever letter I landed on that was associated with each category, I got to pick another book from that category that I wanted to read and probably would have rather read. So I might switch it up in the future, but I really like this way of doing things so that if I can't pick, I have a way that will pick for me. And it was a lot of fun and it wasn't super hard to do either. So that is how that went. We'll play that clip and then I'll show you all the books that I'm going to be reading in August. Keep drifting over there throughout the entire video. My puppy is on my bed, so there's a lot of trust going on right now, and I gotta monitor him. Also, I got new glasses. Let me know what you think. Still getting used to them. They're still pretty weird, but I think I might like them. I mean, I certainly hope so. They're mine now, so I don't really have a choice. Alright, let's get started with the books I'm gonna read in August. Starting with my mash, I guess. So, my 4 categories were manga, debut, continuation, and fantasy. So, continuation is just a book that I have been reading for previous months and haven't yet finished. So, those were a bunch of books that I was in the middle of. And the one that I got for that was This Savage Song by Victoria, I was gonna say Aveyard, but she wrote Red Queen. Victoria Schwab. I have obviously been reading this. I am 86 pages in and really enjoying it. I was kind of in a reading slump before the reading rush, and then this didn't fit any of my personal challenges for the reading rush, so this is the one that I'm going to be reading during August that I will be continuing on with, and I am honestly really excited that I got this one. I would have honestly been fine with any of the choices. That was what it was like for most categories, just because I am such a huge mood reader, so I chose different books that I was in the mood for and randomized it that way. But I am really, really excited to continue on with this. I have been annotating it and writing in it, and I have been loving that so much, and I want to continue on with our dark duet as well, and then do like a little duology review. I think that would be really, really fun. But this is about a world that is split into two. We have the monsters and we have the humans, and they don't get along, and we are following a perspective of each, and it's so intriguing so far. It's definitely like, it's not info dumpy, which I am so used to info dumpy books that it's taking me a little bit of time to get used to, but I am very intrigued and interested, so I know I'll be able to continue on with it. And this is one of those books that once I pick it up, I can read like a huge chunk without really realizing that I've read a ton, so I don't feel like it's like, I'm struggling to get through all of the pages, if you know what I mean. So I'm really excited to continue on with this one in August. Next, we'll talk about the first section. I guess that would be a good idea. That was manga, and for manga, I picked up Orange. Everyone say hi to Aslan. He's gotten huge. Bubs, say hi. Okay, I'm wearing makeup. You don't want to lick that, please. You're such a sweet boy. Hi, Bubs. Okay, I guess I'm gonna hold him while I talk about Orange. Let me see if I can hold both at the same time. Orange by Ichigo Takano. Oh, this is a mess already. I am currently standing like a flamingo. He's balanced on my leg. I don't want anyone to freak out. He's not freaking out. We're all fine. Orange by Ichigo Takano. This is about a friend group, and I believe they all get letters from their future selves warning them about the future and how they should handle it, and it's supposed to be a friendship manga, and that just sounds super cute. It is pretty thick, but I am excited. This is one that comes highly recommended on BookTube, especially for people who are just getting into manga, and this would not be my first manga, but I have been meaning to read it for a little bit now, and I am so freaking excited. Okay, he's squirming now, hold on. I've been filming for 11 minutes and I've talked about 2 books. Okay. The other manga that was chosen for me with my extra letter was Waiting for Spring of Volume 7. This is the volume that I am currently on in this series. This is the first manga series that I have ever read. This is the first one that I ever started with, and I absolutely love it. It is a friendship manga about a girl who doesn't really have any friends, and when she is at work one day, the 4 most popular boys that are on the basketball team in her grade come in, and they form a super adorable friendship, and it is such a slow burn romance, and it is so cute. I'm hoping that the romance that I want... I thought he was gonna pee on my bed. We're good. He's made a hut out of my pillows. The romance in here that I am really shipping, I am really hoping will take off, because if it doesn't, I genuinely might stop reading this series. But yeah, I love it. I cannot wait to continue. It is amazing, and if you've never read manga before, I would say that this is actually a very good one to start with. There are currently 11 volumes out. On to debut. This one, I'm actually not sure if it is her debut. I think it is. Either way, it's the first book that I will read by this author, and that is Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst. And this is about a girl who is in an arranged marriage to this prince who she doesn't know, and that's fine, but she ends up falling in love with his sister, which is a crime seeing as she is engaged to him. It's a fantasy world, and it's a forbidden romance, and it sounds absolutely adorable. This is one that I picked up from the Strand for $9. It was super cheap, so I am so excited to read this. I picked it up last month, and whoa, the sequel for this comes out really, really soon. So this was actually a good one for me to land on, even though it wasn't really the one that I wanted the most. I'm still really, really excited to read this one. Then the last out of the 4 categories is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is about a fantastical library. That's pretty much all I know, and that's all I really want to know. It sounds absolutely incredible. This is also the bookmarked book club pick for August, so I was hopefully going to read this one anyway, but now I feel like I just kind of have to since it was the one that MASH chose for me. So I am so excited to read this. Apparently there's also a lot of banter in it, and it's about sorcerers who are evil but maybe they're not actually evil, and a magical library, and I'm just so excited to read this one. I did not read her other book, seeing as it didn't have the best reviews, but if I love this one, I might go back and give it a try just to see how I fare. It did sound really interesting, and I'm not sure if I would enjoy it, but it's super short and it has a beautiful cover, so like, is there really a loss? Then I'm kind of cheating a little bit, and I chose another book from that category as well, but I knew that it was one that I really wanted to read this month, and so honestly they both probably would have ended up on this list regardless of how it played out, and that is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. A bunch of people read this last month for the Book with Friends book club, and people have just been raving about this series since the sequel came out. It is apparently about time travel, and it's got historical fiction in there, obviously because of time travel, and it's fantasy, excuse me, and there's also magic, obviously magician is in there, and it just sounds so incredible. Plus it's nice and thick, and it sounds like something that's really gonna be up my alley, and so I am so freaking excited to get to this one. Plus the cover is just absolutely stunning. So I really wanted to get to this one regardless of how MASH played out, and I was hoping that I would land on this one, but I was also hoping that I would land on Sorcery of Thorns. So like I said, I was gonna read them both anyway this month. Then the next one, while it is not a cheat, it is another continuation, and that is Perks with Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I put this one on there because the other ones were like fantasy continuations, but this one is one that Bubs, you're okay. Take a nap. Anyway, this is about a boy named Charlie who is writing letters to some random person that we never actually find out, at least not 76 pages in, I haven't, and it's just a tale, I guess, about him and his experiences and his perspective on high school and his observations about life, and it's so, number one, insightful and so positive. Like, this book gives me hope for the human race. I am loving this book so far. It is so emotional, but it also resonates with me so much, and I am just so excited to finish it. It's not super long. It's, I think, just over 200 pages, and like I said, I'm 76 pages in, so I will be finishing this one this month. Sometimes I have to take a break because I'm like, what? I have already cried so much throughout this book. It's a wild ride, and my dog is chewing on my blanket, so another intermission. Lastly, I have a couple more random picks that I really want to get to this month. The first one being Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. This one, I don't really know what it's about. It's about a guy named Clay Janin who has shuffled away from life as a San Francisco web design drone and into the aisles of Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore. But after a few days on the job, Clay discovers that the store is more curious than either its name or its gnomic owner might suggest. And I think that's pretty much all I read of the synopsis before I picked it up. I also read all of the different blurbs all over the book, and it just said that it was so magical. Plus, it's a book about a bookstore. Like, how could it not be exactly up my alley? So it's not super long either. I think this one is also this one is under 300 pages, so a little bit longer, but not super long. It has really good reviews on Goodreads, and it just sounds kind of like a magical realism book, and I am so excited to get to this one. This is one that I was going to put somewhere on one of those lists, but I was like, no, it has to be on there, like it's a must. So I'm super excited to get this one. Get to this one. I already own it. The last book that is on my August TBR is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This is an arc. This book comes out in September, and it's on my TBR because I have to read it. What's the point of having an arc if you don't read it beforehand? So I'm super excited to get to this one. This is set in 1700s France, circling a witch who marries a witch hunter, and it just sounds so freaking interesting. Emma Books has hyped this one up so much, and so I am so excited to finally be getting to this one. It just sounds amazing. It's like 500 pages, but I don't have too many lengthy books, so I think I can do it. Plus, it's one of my most anticipated releases, so like, we should have no problem. These are all of the books that I am hoping to get to throughout the month of August. I do have some pretty lengthy ones on here, but I also have some pretty short ones, so I'm hoping that it will be fine. Plus, I'm really glad that I did MASH because I normally put like 15 books on my TBR that are all 500 pages long, and that's just not possible for me. So, hopefully this will work out. I don't know what this month has in store, but I'm hoping it's all good things, and I'm hoping the same for you. Let me know what's on your TBR, or if you have read any of these before. I genuinely love talking to you guys so much in the comments below. Like, seriously, it's my favorite part of YouTube. It's amazing. So please leave a comment. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like the incorporation of MASH. If you don't, I'll just do it on my own and then tell you about the books. But if you did, let me know and I can continue that throughout my different TBRs. I think it would be super fun to incorporate. I enjoyed doing it, and it was a really nice way for me to narrow down my TBR for the month. So I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys!